Morning students, Jai Swaminarayan. I hope you all are safe at your home and utilizing your time very well in studies. In the last lecture, we studied about the reflection from the plane mirrors. In this video, we are going to study about reflection from the spherical mirrors. Already in the last video, I have explained about what do you mean by mirror. Mirror is nothing but the glass, and the glass is coated with the silver coating at the back side. These mirrors are of two types, plane mirrors and spherical mirrors. Plane mirrors are having straight and the plane surface, whereas spherical mirrors are having curved reflecting surfaces. So spherical mirrors are the mirrors whose reflecting surface is curved inward or outward. So these are the spherical mirrors. Now spherical mirrors are of two types, concave mirror and convex mirror. Concave mirrors are curved inward, whereas convex mirrors are curved outward. For example, I will explain this with the help of a spoon. Take a spoon in your hand. You will be able to see two parts of the spoon. At the back side and the front side, both are the reflecting part. The part which is curved inwards, look like a cave. That part represents the curved mirrors, and the reflecting surface which is bulged outside or flexed outside represents a convex mirror. So concave mirror is a mirror whose reflecting side is curved inward, okay, and the convex mirrors are the mirrors whose reflecting part is bulged outside. Concave mirrors are also known as converging mirrors, and convex mirrors are also known as diverging mirrors. Why is it so? For example, if you have an object, the rays of light from that object when falling on the concave mirror parallelly to each other are incident on the concave mirror. When they get reflected back, they converge inwards. That means they bend inwards and meet at a point to form an image. Whereas in the case of convex mirrors, when the rays of light are incident on the surface, bulged surface, that is, they get diverged or bent outwards. So when we extend these rays behind the mirror, you will get a point. It means that this reflected rays appears to meet at a point behind the mirror. So the image which is formed by the concave mirror is formed when the reflected rays are converging inward, whereas in the image formed by the convex mirror is formed only when the reflected rays appears to meet, they do not actually meet. In the case of convex mirrors, so actually when the reflected rays meet, we get real image, and in the case of convex mirrors, they appear to meet, they do not actually meet, right? So the image formed by the convex mirror is always virtual image. After this, we are going to learn about some important terms related to the mirror before starting the ray diagrams, as well as how the reflection takes place from the spherical mirrors. So we will learn these important terms. In the important terms, we have aperture, focal length, focus, center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, and pole. Now, what do you mean by, we will learn all these important terms with respect to concave mirrors as well as convex mirrors. So first we will learn with the help of concave mirrors. First we will start with the aperture. What do you mean by aperture? This is a reflecting surface, or we can say curved portion. Suppose we extend this curved part, it will make a whole sphere, right? And this curved part means this reflecting portion is nothing but a small portion of this whole sphere. This small curved portion, or the reflecting portion, small reflecting portion of the whole sphere, m, represented by m dash, is called as aperture. Then we will come to the second important term, pole. What do you mean by pole? The center of the aperture is known as pole, or the center of the reflecting surface is known as pole, and it is denoted by P. So pole is nothing but the center of aperture. Now after that we will learn the third important term, that is center of curvature. What do you mean by center of curvature? Suppose if we extend this curved part, we will get a sphere, and the center of the sphere is nothing but the center of curvature. As this is curvature, we will say the center of curvature. So the center of curvature is nothing but the center of the spherical mirror reflecting surface. It is represented by C. After that, what do you mean by radius of curvature? Radius of curvature, the radius of sphere is nothing but the radius of curvature. This imaginary sphere is nothing but the radius of curvature. After that, we will learn about what do you mean by principal axis. A principal axis is nothing but a straight line which is passing through the center of curvature as well as pole, and this meet at a pole at 90 degree. Okay, so this is an imaginary line which we are using for the reference. So principal axis is an imaginary line passing through the center of curvature and pole and meets at pole at 90 degree. This is known as principal axis. After that, we will learn about what do you mean by focus point. The focus point, see what do you mean by focus point. The point on the principal axis where all parallel rays meet after reflection. This is the concave mirror, right? This is the reflecting part. This is the principal axis passing through the center, and this is a pole. When any ray of light is parallel to the principal axis, this is the principal axis. When any ray of light is parallel to the principal axis, after reflection, it meets at a point. All the rays of light, how many lines are there, all the lines will meet at a point to form an image, and this point is nothing but focus point, which is represented by F. So the focus point is a point where all the rays of light which are parallel to the principal axis meet, is known as focus point. What do you mean by focal length? The distance between the focus point and the pole is nothing but focal length. The same definitions, the definition of all this term is also same for the convex mirror. But in the case of convex mirror, the difference is that the focus point and the center of curvature always lies behind the mirror, whereas in the case of concave mirror, the center of curvature and the focus lies in front of the mirror. Okay. Now there is one more interesting relationship between the focal length and the radius of curvature, that always the focal length is half of the radius of curvature. This focal length is always half of the radius of curvature. Means that if this is 2 centimeter, then the distance between the pole and center of curvature will be 2 plus 2, that is total 4 centimeter. So we can define the relation between the focal length and the radius of curvature like this. Suppose the radius of curvature is represented by R and the focal length is represented by small f, then focal length is always half of the radius of curvature. So the formula is F is equals to R by 2, or when we take this to this side, we will get another formula, R is equals to 2F. So in both the manners, focal length is half of the radius of curvature. See, one of the sum is over here. If the radius of the curvature of the mirror is 20 centimeter, means that this is a mirror and the radius of curvature, this is the principal axis, this is C, and this is suppose 20 centimeter. Okay, then what is the distance between focus point and the pole? So what is the focal length? So this will be the half of this. So we will use the formula R is equals to 20, F is equals to question mark. So F is equals to R by 2, that is focal length is half of the radius of curvature. So R divided by 2. So F is equals to 20 by 2. which is equals to 10 centimeters. So focal length is nothing but 10. So it will be 10 plus 10, 20. That is exactly half of the radius of curvature. I hope you have understood this much. We will study about the ray diagrams in the next video.